You can share this with them after. I'm excited that you're here, and I want to thank you for joining in. We'll see more and more people popping on over the next couple of minutes. Guys, my name is Laurie. I'm here from Michigan, and I want to welcome you to the call tonight. I love Mondays. I love starting the week like this, and I want to tell you, for those of you that are here, that I admire you. I'm grateful that you're here, and the reason is that you have an attribute that a lot of people don't have, which is an open mind. And guys, when you have an open mind, it usually culminates in then open eyes and an open heart. And when that is going on in your life, there is possibility everywhere. And it's really hard to go out and find opportunity or have opportunity find you if your eyes are not open. So I admire that from you. I admire that for you. And I'm grateful that you are here tonight with us. So for me, my name is Laurie. I'm from Michigan. I am just a Midwestern mom, 5 kids, 5 grandkids, very, very average. Back in my 20s, when our family was young, we were raising a family and we started a couple businesses, and labors of love for sure. In the hospitality industry, it's an industry that I really am very grateful for, because it offered us a ton of flexibility. We were very present when our kids were growing up, and that was a blessing for us. When my last baby went off to college, and I started to kind of reassess things, I realized that flexibility did not equal freedom. And I knew that I needed to do something a little bit different. I didn't know what. And interestingly enough, I had been approached about something similar to what you're going to hear about tonight on more than one occasion, more occasions than I can actually count. And I'm actually a little bit embarrassed to admit that I just made so many assumptions about what they were going to say that I never even took the time to listen. And so it then became clear to me when my 19-year-old son, off at college, his name is Tom, we're partners here in Euphoria, playing baseball at college, got introduced to something like this. And he called me up lit on fire. And it was him. It was just him that was able to get me to open my eyes to something that I thought I knew everything about, and clearly was wrong because I knew nothing. And so from that point on, it's been 7 strong years in this space. I have never looked back. Our family has never looked back. It has changed everything. And not always just from a financial aspect, although that's an important aspect. You know, money with good intentions, it gives you options. And that's a really, really big plus in life. But in more ways than that. You know, my kids have skills they could have never learned in the classroom. And 3 of the 5 went to college, right? I mean, they are articulate, they can network, they can communicate with people, they've spoken on stages all over the place. We've traveled, our entire family, our mindset is beyond anything that I could have visualized before I was introduced to this. And so it's clear that I'm passionate about it, and I am. I think that when people really wake up to what possibilities are here in this type of industry, their lives can be changed. And so no matter who you are, you can be a parent, a non-parent, a single parent, a student, a retiree, black, white, short, tall, fat, skinny, it doesn't matter. This is an unbiased opportunity, and that makes it incredibly exciting to me. Anybody can benefit from what you're going to hear tonight. So I'm super excited to be the one to bring this part to you. So I'm going to go fast because I do want you to spend most of your time with our second speaker. I get the option and the ability to be able to share with you the product and the company. And so we're going to share the screen. I know you guys can see this. All right, and so here you are here for a company called Euphoria. And guys, Euphoria Science is an extreme human experience in an extreme scientific environment. The purpose is the most important part, though. The purpose of Euphoria is to illuminate the beauty and uniqueness of every single human being. And it's the next step in health and wellness. It really is just progress in the space. It acknowledges that there are not 2 of us alike. And so before we can hear about where we're going, it's really important to know where we are. And so it's not a secret that globally, right, health is a problem. I mean, that's very, very clear. And when we talk about here in North America, like Canada, US, etc., there are things going on here that are of epidemic proportions. I looked up just a couple stats. I wanted to make sure that they were correct. And I'm going to share them with you because I think they're significant in this space. So the American Heart Association states that more men and women die annually from heart disease than from all of the cancers combined. I think that's a crazy, crazy fact. And what's really crazy about it is some of those issues are predisposition. They're in your genes or in your DNA. Some of them are choices, right? Some of them we can do something about. The second one I read that I thought was significant was the CDC, which is the Center for Disease Control, estimates that by 2020, so within a year, 75% of Americans will be clinically obese. See, let that sink in. That's crazy. It's crazy. And so when you think about that, it's the exact same thing, right? Yes, some of us are predisposed to that. Some of us just don't make good choices. There are ways out there to change things in our health habits, right? And those are a couple things. And then the most troublesome one, quite honestly, imagine this. Imagine that for the next 30 or 40 years, everything is status quo. Nothing changes. So junk food is the same. Healthy food is the same. Exercise or lack thereof is the same. Supplementation is the same. Everything stays the same. If that were to happen, it is predicted that in 30 to 40 years, that next generation will actually die sooner than the generation before that. All right, that has never happened in history. And that's not progress. All right, that isn't what I would consider progress. We are not healthy. All right, we're just not healthy. And so I think here in the US, my personal opinion is I think we're really good at crisis management. I think that when somebody is ill or somebody's chasing a disease or trying to get better, we're good at chasing. I do not believe that we're all that great at health. So 70, 80 years ago, doctors and scientists, they started realizing that there was no way that we could get everything that we needed from food. I mean, you just can't physically ingest that much on a daily basis. So supplementation came to the market. And from that point forward, it was blind nutrition, right? Great intentions, but not ideal results. The reason is that it's kind of a one size fits all. All right, so in other words, it's based on intelligence. Your mom tells you the whole time growing up, take your Flintstone vitamin. Your doctor says, add this to your diet or add this to your vitamins. Your friend at the gym says, try this. And we do that, right? And it's expensive. There's a lot of uncertainty. I don't know that I process a Flintstone vitamin the same as my brother who might need 3. You just don't know because you can't see inside. What's really interesting about this, I have 2 friends. I keep trying to get them to send me a picture. When you open up their kitchen cupboards, they have a whole cupboard full. I'm talking full of supplements, and the ones in the back probably haven't been seen in years. And I'll ask them straight out, could you know what all that does? And they don't know, and they're not even ashamed to admit it. They really don't know. So blind nutrition, although the intentions were great, not ideal. Targeted nutrition came next. And this is when people started to kind of become aware. They were like, okay, we've got to do a better job. And so targeted nutrition, holistic healing, functional medicine, those all came to the forefront. And again, a step in the right direction. Still based on intelligence, though, based on data, based on this sector of society was tested at one point for this, and this is what the majority showed. And so still not geared towards anybody specifically. And again, remember the purpose, uniqueness. So one size fits all. How do you know? If you go into a functional medicine doctor and you say, I just don't have the energy, he's going to do the best with what he has and say, I think we should add this. We should see how this works. Okay, but you don't know if you need a little, a lot, a ton, So then all of a sudden designer nutrition comes to the marketplace. Designer nutrition is a solution. Okay, I want to be really, really clear on that. It is science-based, all right? And any of you who know what that really means it is not subjective, okay? It is concrete, science-based, exclusive, proprietary nutrition built for you. It's based on your own DNA or your own genetics. It is inspired by you, and it is only for you. And so people are like, well, where do I get that? Okay, well, Euphoria Science is where you get that. And what is Euphoria? Euphoria Science, guys, is a biotech company that creates custom designer supplementation based on the genetic testing of a person's DNA. All right, and you're probably like, what'd she say? Okay, and so I'm going to say it again. I'm going to break it down. It's a biotech company. It creates custom designer supplementation based on the genetic testing of an individual's DNA. All right, and it's been something that I have seen so much curiosity in the marketplace about. It's been crazy. So people are like, well, how do I get it? And so it's very, very easy. I have mine right here. You get a YouStart kit. It's really simple. You just get it from Euphoria. Inside of it, it's beautifully packaged, really nicely done. There's this pre-trition, which is 30 days organic, completely organic cleanse. It brings your cells back to homeostasis, preparing it for your designer supplementation. Also in here, which mine isn't there because it's at the lab, but are 2 Q-tip swabs for your cheeks, simple cheek swab. a medicinal envelope to pop those swabs into, a postage paid envelope to send them to our lab, and then a coupon for $100 off your lab fee, which is a one-time lab fee of $99. It's next to nothing. So what's really cool about this is that when you do your U-Start kit, if you notice, if you look really closely at your screen, you can see mine. There's a barcode on there. It's really important. I want you to remember that. You register this kit. It's how the company knows this kit is unique and specific to you. So guess what happens? Off go your swabs to the lab. They show up at our lab. It is a medical lab. Okay, it's not a Google lab. It is medicinal. It's where your analysis is done. It's HIPAA compliant, CLIA certified, CAP certified. Those certifications mean that you are legit. You are a big boy lab, and I want you to know two things. First of all, HIPAA compliance keeps your information safe and secure. Okay, however, we do not share or sell any of your information, but there's an added layer of protection for that. It's this barcode. There is no human factor on this code at all. When your swabs go in, they go in the form of a code. So your name is not on your DNA. So they've already built that in. The lab is amazing. At the lab, this is what they're testing for. And there's two key words in here, actionable SNPs. Quick science lesson, a SNP is just a variant in a gene. You have a gene in your DNA, consider it the alphabet times 1,000,000, and somewhere in that 1,026 letters, there's 2 transposed. That's a variant. And all it means is that gene doesn't necessarily work exactly as it should. Perhaps it doesn't process something exactly as it should. It's not as optimal as it could be. Actionable means that we can actually support those genes with nutrition alone. Okay, we can actually help the function of that gene. So our company chose to do the 18 most fundamental genes in your body for good health. Okay, and forget about all the scientific stuff on here. Just look at this. Healthy blood pressure, detox, healthy heart, healthy weight management, vitamin D receptor. Guys, this is the dashboard of your health. And Euphoria is able to look at it, understand where you need support, and then create a supplementation program just for you. Now, after they've done that, after they've done the report, this is what shows up. It comes in a pass-coded email. It's 35 pages. This is the most significant page. This is like your score, okay? So here's your 18 SNPs they tested for, color-coded, right? A 5-year-old could read it. Green means neither parent gave you a variant. That gene works exactly as it should. Yellow means that at least one of your parents gave it to you. You don't know which one, but you need to support it. And red means that the variant was passed down by both parents. You can support and help optimize that gene. The other 34 pages, don't let that scare you. They're like supporting pages. So for every SNP, there's a page of what's going to be in your formula, how much, why, what's it going to do, etc. Quick side note, I had a friend who had his son DNA tested back in early December. It was $5,700 from the doctor, $5,700. And when they got the results, they couldn't even read them. They had to go back and pay for an office visit. So like knowing that this is available to just anybody, any average Joe on the street, is a big deal. So then the commitment goes even further. The company understands the power of this and how this is going to actually like change the marketplace in supplementation. And they realize that the software that creates this formula has been being worked on for 24 years, okay? And it's just a bunch of scientists, and they've been working on it. Euphoria purchases this software. They're the only company with the ability to do this. So once your DNA is analyzed, this software creates your personalized formula. Mathematically, there's nearly 400 million potential different formulas, and one is yours. It's amazing. But then it goes even further. So even though the product is new to the marketplace, the foundation of the company is so deep, deeper than anything I've seen in this space ever, okay? And so what they do is they realize this is going to be big. Like, this is going to disrupt the marketplace. We need to be able to keep up, right? And so they need to be able to scale this business. So they go out and they have this machine engineered exclusively for Euphoria. It's the one and only on the planet, and it's called the Nutritionator. And this machine is able to read your formula that came out of that software in the form of a barcode and spit out your own personal nutrition in the form of capsules or powder in 15 seconds. The only one on the planet. So you can see the commitment of Euphoria to this mission, to this project. This will change the face of wellness for humankind. I know that's bold. I know it's bold. But when you really think about trickle-down effects and you really start going down that rabbit hole, it gets nuts. Like, this is going to change everything. So just a thumbnail sketch of what you see in your formula, just to give you an idea. Non-GMO, gluten-free, and vegan. We're sensitive to allergens and lifestyle choices and that kind of thing. Always the very best ingredients we can get our hands on. And after this is all said and done, this is what spits out. I have mine here. This is called Youtrition. Okay, it is a personal formula made for you, inspired by you, based on your genetics. It literally has your name on it. I think you can see that. Yep. And it comes to your doorstep every 30 days. So they've taken this really complex science and they've broken it down to a couple clicks of a button and boom, it shows up at your doorstep. Now, guys, this is the cool thing, is that you have a choice. We all have choices, okay? And you can see right here, okay? Blind nutrition on the left and no arrows in the target, and designer nutrition on the right with an arrow right in the bullseye, right? It's an easy choice. Think about left as MySpace and right as Facebook. What do? You don't stay at MySpace, right? You progress with the whole rest of humankind over to Facebook. Same thing with like landline on the left, cell phone on the right. You're not going to stay over there. Okay, nobody's going to stay there. This is going to be the future. It starts here. Okay, so make the right choice. Really quickly, it's super easy. Okay, you want to be a customer. Most people do. It does make sense. You just buy this kit. $159. Okay, it's nothing in the scheme of things. I know more people than I'd like to admit that spend that at the bar on a Friday night. Okay, $159. You register it with your little unique code on the back and you send in your swabs. And then you start your pre-trition. Just like I told you, you're going to love this. This is fabulous. And this is going to prepare your body for what comes next. Now, before we introduce Ron, there's one more thing I want to talk to you about. Just like every other progressive company on the planet, Amazon, all of them, people talk about what they naturally love. It's just a natural share. It's why we are constantly on our phones, right? We're looking. We want to know what people are doing. What do they like? What do they hate? What movie do they see? That is natural. And so, and Euphoria knows that. And so because of that, like I talk about this all the time. In fact, I try to steer the conversation to this because I think people need to know. Okay, so I think it comes naturally. When you naturally share this, when 4 people that you know also want to try it and you generate a sale and 4 people are using this product based on your referral, yours is free. You'll pay shipping and handling, but the product itself is free. That's like a lifetime of luxury, right? Just for sharing what you love. And so I think it's clear, you guys, how I feel about this. The thing is that there's more to this than what meets the eye, honestly. Like, this in and of itself is incredible. However, there's another side to this, and it's likely why most of you are here. And I'm actually going to stop sharing for this because I want this person to have the full screen. So I thought a lot about how I wanted to introduce him because I haven't really known him all that long. We met in December. I was lucky enough to be part of an intimate group that got to spend some time with him in California. And instantly loved his energy. That was an instant feeling. And I think you guys know energy doesn't lie, right? You can tell, and the truth is the best and the highest vibration of energy that we have. And he's like just all the time. Like, his energy is amazing. What I really love about him is there's a couple things. First of all, I don't know all of his business accolades. I do know one that I think is really important. He is a family man. He has a family, and he was the CEO of a hyper successful company for 17 years. That's a long run. And when he decided to change and he just wanted to be with his family, he retired from that, and he actually retired and became like the classroom dad and all this kind of stuff. So I found that like tugged on a heartstring a little when I heard that, because I have kids. I know how that feels. And so that was cool. And then I had the opportunity to again spend time with him in January. And there were a few things that he said to me again that really stuck, okay? And one of them was that he has a special needs daughter. And he said to a room full of about 500 people that everybody has a mentor. Like you do. You have somebody you listen to. Hopefully that person has what you want, right? And you're listening, and it could be somebody who somebody who you don't even know. He said that his mentor was his special needs daughter. and that she had taught him more than anybody else in his life. And again, like another tug on the heartstrings. And then I know a couple other things too. I know that he is a visionary. I know that he does this U of U University that I was blessed enough to be a part of, that is it's a symphony of personal development. Absolutely fabulous. He is the creator of it. He manages it. It's beautiful, and he can peel back the onion so well. And then I know that he directed a film that was Best in Film at Breckenridge, like The Sister to Sundance, which very well rounded. And I think this is true too, and maybe he'll correct me if I'm wrong. For any of you who's closer to my age, this will resonate. He was a backup singer for Donnie and Marie Osmond. Who knew, right? And so for those of you who don't know who that is, just Google that. So without further ado, the person who's going to teach you why this is so important, why this company's timing is absolutely insane, why this disrupting the industry at this time in history is amazing, what it can do for you, how you can leverage it. The person who's going to do that for you is none other than our CEO, Mr. Ron Williams. And Ron, I'm assuming that you are with us. Is that true?
Yes. Can you see me?
Yes, we can see you. Hi.
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
Wow. Well, that was a fantastic presentation, Laurie.
Oh, I'm so glad you liked it.
You've always been kind of that angel in the room that's kind of making sure, you assert yourself when the room needs it, and you just you glide when it doesn't. It's been a very impressive watching how you interact and lead. I've always said there's 1,000 ways to lead, find one, and I think you're just very good at understanding that principle.
Thank you.
Thank you for that very kind introduction, and yeah, I even have a little bit of a singing background, which is kind of silly, but I wasn't even a country singer, but I was asked to do all the duets with Marie because she was into the country music. So I toured and did all the duets, and discovered that I wasn't a fanatic for music, that it was an art, and you don't want to put food on the table with an art that you love so much. So I decided to make it a passion and leave it that way. But anyhow, thank you for that very kind introduction. Well, folks, I won't take up much of your time tonight. I'm sitting in my car. I pulled over so that I could be present and it could be quiet and I have good reception. But what we're doing, I mean, the more we talk about it, the smaller I begin to feel when a woman walks in and says, my great grandfather passed of a heart attack at 49 years old, and my grandfather passed at 51, and my dad passed at 47, and am I a ticking bomb, crying. And then they get their DNA report, a 35-page report, and then they just bawl because it's so surreal, and it's generations upon generations being revealed on a page of paper. And I think we sometimes take these kinds of things for granted because we are a biotech company, but this is also an extreme human experience, folks, about as extreme as we've ever seen. Euphoria, we'll have to manifest this statement, but I cannot think of a good argument because I believe Euphoria is potentially the most significant wellness company in history. Where else have you seen the science of DNA combined with a 24-year developed software that specializes in the algorithm of you, and then a machine that took 3 years to engineer and build that scans your coded name so nobody can catch what it is, and drop nearly 100 plant-based, peer-reviewed studied into one formula? It is a straight line to your wellness. So the days of blind nutrition, yes, they're coming to an end, and the antics of blind nutrition are coming to an end. Promise that, exaggerate this, hype this, desperation that. Those days, those are all blind nutrition tactics. Oh, what will this product do for my body? I don't know. What do you want to do for your body? Those days are over, folks. You know why? Because the real answer has always been the one. And I just don't think any of the blind nutrition people had the courage to say it, but here it is. The product doesn't heal. The body does. The body will reverse engineer itself back to wellness. It has an intelligence that far supersedes anything we can know or say or do. All the body needs is the proper raw materials. And guess what? Nutrition is the perfect raw material designed and designated by you. Okay, so this is about as straight line as you get. It's whole raw nutrition. If God made it, eat it. If man made it, leave it alone or eat it in moderation. I'm not a fanatic. Fanatics die every day of self-inflicted stress. It's why they have bad breath. I'm not that guy. But I think that overall, if you're still alive, you have energy. And that energy is like a bank account. And that being said, then you are the account manager. You make deposits or withdrawals. This is the perfect deposit for people. So what does that mean? Well, it means an industry that puts in roughly 50,000 new people a day is beginning to celebrate the coming of euphoria. It means the industry that is bigger than the video game industry, the NBA, the entertainment industry, bigger than all of those combined, our profession. We do about 300 billion a year, beginning to celebrate the coming of euphoria, perhaps the most significant wellness company in history. So next year, DNA, nutrition, medicine, etc., is projected to be roughly a $600 billion industry, kind of out of nowhere. I mean, this is just kind of went boop, it's in our face. And here we are leading the charge. And even though we're leading the charge, we're still infant. I will never promise perfection, but I will always promise progress. So your opportunity to go in and capture the marketplace in a business conversation, in a professional way, it just doesn't get better. You got LaCour Enterprise on one side, who's the LeBron. You've got Eric Worre on the right side, who's Kevin Durant, or whoever you want to call him, right? And then you have this technology front and center. You've got really the most interesting coming together or collection of assets and people I've ever seen, including you, Laurie, and the people that have come to this table to work. So on a scale from 1 to 100, business, how early are you? 0.025. That's how early you are. So that doesn't entitle you to anything, but what it does do is it enables you to take advantage of an opportunity of the future of arguably the most significant wellness company in history to be on the ground floor and bring this good news. Call it a direct selling, call it an affiliate company, call it an online business. I don't care what you call it, because it's all of those now. It's kind of a hybrid of all those things coming together, where I have an online business, well, I have an affiliate program, I have a direct selling company. Whatever it is you're doing, it can be high tech, high touch. This is the coming together of the best, and the stars have truly aligned. We are in our second full month. January was partial month. This is our second full month where all systems are a go. So what I'll tell you is that if you're really wanting to ring the bell, understand that business illuminates everything. You want to do good in your life, you want to be philanthropic, well, guess what? When the business is working, you can be the first one there and the last one to leave, because you want to be. It's different. When your health, when you're taking the product and the business is going, ooh, that product never tasted better, never felt better when that business is going, right? When you want to live your purpose instead of living paycheck to paycheck, nothing illuminates that better than making that business work. So I guess my message tonight, unlike many other nights, tonight's about business. It's about understanding that whether you work at part-time most of the time or all of the time, you are on the ground floor of what I think is an astonishing mark in history. And we are all just gifted and blessed enough and humbled enough to be in this position. Excuse me, my phone rang. To be in this position to take it to the world. So I will just tell you, while the business is important, I just can't get off the phone without saying culture is number one here. I've seen cultures sustain companies. I've seen cultures kill companies. This is a company that understands that your way of being is greater than anything you know or anything you say. Be amazing. Fortunately, we have Eric Worre to go with that, to have you do it like a pro. Because when you're being amazing and doing it like a pro, you can't lose. Being amazing is not enough. You'll get your hat handed to you from time to time. Doing it like a pro is not enough. We've seen pros that tend to be jerks at times, right? This is about being amazing and doing it like a pro, because as Laurie said, the energy doesn't lie. And then having it all through the context of a culture here in Euphoria, a vision bigger than all of us, so none of us get in the way. No ego, no entitlement, no do me, but service is greater than salesmanship. And just so I don't ever get puffed up, my best work is my next. So I want to invite you to be a part of this beautiful company at whatever level you're going to be a part of it. And it's such a pleasure, Laurie, to work side by side with you. It truly is. You get it. and I was always hoping that we'd have these sorts of opportunities together. Clearly, you're aligned with some beautiful people in Luke and Ben and so many others that I just admire and look up to and want to learn from. But this truly is the real McCoy, folks. This is about as good as it gets. So with that, Laurie, I'm going to turn the time back over to you. And just if there's anything you'd like me to cover, I will. But I feel like I've taken enough time.
No, that's great. That's great. I'm going to take them back into our PowerPoint and just show them basically the tools that they're allowed to leverage and how to get started. And I want to thank you. I know I sprung this on you last minute, and I appreciate you pulling over and handling it. And we'll talk soon.
Just want to express my love to all and tell them thanks for being on tonight.
Thanks.
Welcome home. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Appreciate you. Okay, guys, I'm going to take 2 more minutes of your time really quick. I want to not leave without making sure that you understand the rest. So bear with me while we sneak through to a couple more slides. I'm going to go all the way through. Bear with me. Okay, so basically, this is what I want to show you, is that we have a proven system of tools. I have never seen a company ever, and for those of you who are familiar with this space, you haven't either, okay? This company has more resources in place 6 weeks in than I have ever seen in any company, okay? We have a euphoriascience.com/resources page. It has every video you could imagine, 30-second videos on every SNPs we're testing, presentations, PDFs, images that you can use for any kind of marketing resources that you need. We have a mobile app. Guys, this mobile app is the bomb. If you do not have it, download it now. It's free for all nutritionists. It is a CRM. It does exactly what you need it to do. You send videos. You know when people are watching them. You know how much of it they've watched. You know when to follow up. You set up follow-up times. It has all of Eric Worre's trainings, and they're specific to Euphoria. I don't know if you guys know this, but he's never put his name on a company like this before, and he is a big part of our training, so he keeps us very distinguished, and I love that about this company. We have our events. You can plug in everywhere. Just this week alone, I have 4 different events that Ron will be plugging into. They're everywhere, all over the country. We just had one in Paradise Valley. He's going to be in Chicago soon. We have one in Las Vegas. The first event in Las Vegas in January was 450, 500 people. There are already 5,000 people registered for the one coming up here at Caesar's Palace, June 28th, 29th, and 30th. Momentum is on the horizon. People are interested. There is very little pushback on a product that's never been seen before. Really quickly getting started, it's easy. As I told you before, we do have the 1-pack, the 159. All it takes to be a nutritionist, to take advantage of this company, to leverage the infrastructure that's in place so that you have your own small business with all of their resources, is just $40 a year. $39.95 a year. And then you choose whatever pack you want. The cool part about these packs is the built-in customer program. If you buy 3 and you sell 2 hand-to-hand, you buy them at a discount. But as soon as the people register, they're a customer in your organization. It's a beautiful system. So you can buy 3-pack at 15% off and then sell them for a regular price, 5-pack, 10-pack, etc. And then underneath the names is our Canadian market. We are now, just as of, I think, this week, open in Puerto Rico as well. But it's a $40 investment where you can leverage a company of this magnitude and use a product that's a no-brainer. Guys, really quickly, is it unique? Yeah, it's the only one on the planet. So yeah, it's unique. Is it simple? Yes, you take word of mouth marketing, which is just people talking to people, which simplifies the marketing, and you take the most extensive exclusive science that anybody in this space has ever seen, and you simplify it down to a couple buttons on your phone and it comes to your door. So yes, it's simplified. Is it disruptive? Guys, I'm telling you, the Procter & Gamble wanted to buy this. I don't know if you guys know, but they didn't know how to scale it. Okay, it's not a joke. People are shaking. They're shaking. They don't know how they're going to keep up, and it's going to change the marketplace. And is it noble? One thing they didn't mention, neither of us have mentioned, are the layered products that are in line. Next comes skincare, SNPs that test for collagen, elasticity, etc. Then it's going to be weight management, performance, senior, adult, men and women senior, and legacy will be children. With a legacy of a company this size, children will be swabbed at birth, basically. That's only 5 or 6, 7 years away, probably. They'll be nutritionally supplemented from birth. the legacy of this company is children, and I can't think of a more noble cause. So all I can tell you is get back with the person who brought you to the call. I know we ran 5 minutes over, and I'm sorry for that. Talk to them, right? They're probably a nutritionist if they invited you. You can go on and you can get your product ordered. It'll be at your house in 2 days. The customer experience is second to none. Text messages through the whole thing. Get your product ordered. $40, become a nutritionist. Join us in the mission. It's an easy product to share. It's a fun project to share. And like Ron said, the culture, it's pretty incredible. So I am really, really, really proud to have spent some time with you tonight. You guys need anything, you know who to reach out to. Thank you again for your time, and welcome to Euphoria.